What's going on, everybody? Focus, camera. Jeez. So today has been a day. Today has been a day. It's kind of a monumental day, and I wanted to just hop in and kind of just talk about it a little bit and see if anybody jumps in. They want to give their reactions, if they want to talk about it or whatever. That'd be awesome. Let me get set up here. Make sure everything is muted. All right. So do we have volume? Do we have sound? I think we are good to go. Okay. So today has been wild. Today is a day of big change in our country, I think. Today is a day of new possibilities. A Democrat, an independent, a guy who is running for office, Bobby Kennedy, has endorsed Trump. And that's that's huge. That the Kennedy name carries a lot of weight still, 50 years, 60 years later. The Kennedy name is still huge. And I know Bobby is kind of ostracized for being weird and out there, and that's okay. Bobby is Bobby, and he has really sound logic and really sound principles, and I love Bobby. That's who I was going to vote for. And now he's suspended his campaign. He's going to support Trump because the Democrats. Let's just call it exactly how it is. The Democrats ruined his chances by suing the shit out of him, trying to keep him off the ballots, and they won. They won in that regard. They kept him off the ballots. They did what they were trying to do. But I think they're going to lose because of it. May have won that battle to keep him out of the presidential race, but I think they're going to lose the war because of it. Because people are going to see, they're going to notice the crazy of the DNC, how much they're willing to fight to keep somebody down, and how corrupt they are, how corrupt the DNC is. People are going to look at it and they're going to say, oh, Bobby Kennedy, he was a Democrat lifelong and now he's a sellout. And I 100% disagree with that. Bobby is a guy of conviction. He's a guy that has morals, and he's stood on those morals for a long time. He wants healthy kids, a healthy planet. He wants corruption out of politics. He wants corporate cronyism gone. He wants big pharma to stop advertising and stop poisoning our children. And the way he sees that, he's thought, I could be the one that brings that change. I can be the one that leads us into the future. But the DNC has multiple millions of dollars, and they kept him off the ballots, and they suppressed him, and they wouldn't let him debate. And it was the DNC every step of the way, holding him down. The Democrats did their damnedest to keep him suppressed, and he was growing in popularity, so they sued the shit out of him. So what choice did he have? What choice did he have? Keep running his campaign, losing millions of dollars on lawsuits, traveling all across the country trying to get on ballots, traveling all across the country trying to fight court cases? What choice did he have? The choice was Trump. The choice was to pick the lesser of two evils, because the lesser of two evils kind of has some things in line with you. He's made some promises, Trump has. He's going to put Bobby in charge of a special commission to have people, in charge of food and whatnot. I don't know the exact terminology, to make sure that we're not being poisoned by our food, not being poisoned by our medicines. He's putting Bobby in charge. And that's one of the things that Bobby was campaigning on. So what choice did he have? He made the logical choice. He made the smart choice. And he made a choice that made his entire family hate him. It seems like every single person in his family has turned their back on him now. What choice did he have? Now, again, I was fully prepared to vote Bobby Kennedy. I'll admit that. I was fully prepared because I wanted to be part of the 5% to validate the next presidential run, to validate to get those funds so that way he's already on the docket. I wanted that 5%. I made no bones about the fact that we were shooting for the 5%, period. We wanted the funding and we wanted equal access to ballots. The next step would be in getting in all the debates. Incremental change is how this has to happen. This system that we have, this two-party system, has divided the country. And we needed a party that's somewhere in the middle that can unify. And I feel like that's where Bobby came in, and that was his appeal to the middle of the country. The extreme left, the extreme right, they have their candidates. But that middle, independent, largest voting bloc didn't have anybody. And they saw it in Bobby. And the Democrats got scared, and they pushed, they shoved, they sued, they kept him down. Do you think in a million years if Kamala and Bobby Kennedy were going head to head, toe to toe, to get delegates, do you think Kamala would ever win? Absolutely not. That's why they did it the way they did. They left Biden in there until the absolute last minute, and he drops out saying, I'm not going to run for re-election. Do you think there's any scenario in which Kamala beats Bobby in a debate? No. Not unless it's a cackle off. Who can laugh the most? Who can be the border czar? Like, I think the DNC screwed themselves by trying to screw Bobby Kennedy. He came out on stage at the Trump rally to like one of the biggest ovations you've seen. It's insane, and I'll pull it up here. The reaction that Bobby Kennedy got whenever he came out on stage, the crowd loved him. Let's pull up the video here. And you'll see just what I'm talking about. Here he is walking out, and they are already screaming. It's a powerful moment. This is an absolutely powerful moment. Let's see that you guys couldn't see that, so let's try that again. Through the curtain, the crowd erupts. The crowd absolutely erupts. You don't think that this is... Look at this. On their feet. Coming out to There Goes My Hero. This is one of those great unity moments in American history, I believe. Look at this. This is a movie. Dan Scavino, you're not wrong. This is history in the making. Look at this. I've got literal goosebumps on my arms because what this is. This is the future. This is the future of politics right here. The uniparty, the Democrat and Republican elites are going to be scared. They're already scared of Trump, but this new unity, this new coalition, as it seems, coming together of diverse um, people who don't, you wouldn't think would agree typically, are now coming together. It's a beautiful thing. Like it literally gave me goosebumps. It literally made me proud, proud to be an American at that point. It was amazing, and I think that they completely stole the momentum from the Democrats. I've been on X the last like 4 days. Bobby Kennedy has been number one trending, or at least close to number one trending, like the whole week. The whole time the DNC is going on, every single day. Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., hashtag Bobby Kennedy, whatever. He completely stole all the momentum they thought they had. And I think it was the most beautiful thing. The timing was impeccable. The timing was impeccable. And Trump, welcomed him with open arms. It was beautiful. And I just think, we're looking at something that can build a lot of momentum in the future. I think it could set up a potential Bobby run in 28, maybe, if he wants to go that route. I think it could definitely set him up that way. I think it could really elevate the talks around the need for a third party. Because before this, what was the last real third party candidate that came out to that sort of thunderous applause? That love? Perot, right? Ross Perot, 92 and 96. If there's anybody else I'm missing, please feel free to let me know. But there's not, and I assure you that. This could be the change that we're looking for in the future. Bobby Kennedy could be that bridge between the two completely opposite spectrums. He could be that glue that kind of brings in that wave of the third party. I appreciate that, and I love it. And it's one of those things I've long lobbied for. I've long been interested in, and I think it's a great step. To be honest, it's a great step. And I think that one of the things that we have to understand, and we have to remember, we have to think about, is that the leftists are so goddamn deranged. They're such lunatics that we have to band together to defeat them. We have to do whatever it takes to defeat the left. And it's not something I've actually actively thought of until you see how they operate. You see how they just kind of shoved Kamala in, how they just kind of shoehorned her in, and they have these big concerts where she talks so it looks like she's super popular. And the corruption, you could just see the corruption happening before your eyes. It's like, you know what? They're right. We've got to band together. We've got to defeat the leftists at all costs. They're too powerful. And they have the numbers, unfortunately, as far as Democrat versus Republican. Obviously, the middle portion, the independent voter, is still the largest voting bloc. And that's who we're trying to cater to. And that's who we want on board. And that's the kind of people I want to recruit into this cause. So if you're one of those middle people who don't like the crazy politics of the left or the right, I can assure you the leftists are so significantly worse than any Republican I've ever met. The left is so goddamn weird. They keep using that word to describe Republicans, but leftists want to have parades where like men can literally just walk around with their junk out in front of children. That's not normal. That's fucking weird. They want to have transvestite book day at the public library. That's not normal. That's fucking weird. So for a Democrat, a leftist to call any Republican or anyone, you know, in the center or right weird is just funny to me. We have to band together to get this decay out of our society. We have to band together to show them that normal is good and weird and corruption and sick fantasies and sexualizing children and chemical castration and poisoning people with medications is bad. It's wrong. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and just have a little chat. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here today. I guess the big takeaway, the big overarching takeaway, is that everyday people can see how deranged the leftists are, and they want to come together. We have to come together to defeat the left-wing mob, to defeat these commie bastards, these creepy, disgusting, pedophile, evil people. We have to come together and we have to win.